Hey guys, today I want to show you a really useful step that I like to do in the songwriting process, and it's all about using your song as its own separate audio file, which I think opens up a lot of doors for creativity and perhaps a new perspective. So let me show you what I mean. The reason I like to do this is because it tends to give you a bit of freedom in the sense that you're free to mess around with it in ways that would be difficult in the original session, but you can always go back to the way that it was by going into the original session or just undoing all your changes, right? So just as an example here, let's say you're working with a beat like this. So what if you wanted to just hear this in a different key real quick? It's not that easy to do in your main session because you have to go through and you have to transpose all the MIDI notes and all the audio files and all the drum samplers if you use those. Whereas here you just go to your audio file and you just change the pitch of it and you check out how this sounds. And also, like, let's say you did go through and do all that work in the original session, but you're like, oh, I want to hear it if it sounds like just a little bit lower or a little bit higher. Now you have to go and do all that work all over again. Whereas here, you just change the transposition one more time. Another thing that you can try too is instead of keeping it at the same tempo, regardless of the pitch, you can actually link the two. And if you've ever heard like those songs on TikTok and even Spotify now, where they have alternate versions of popular songs in like a sped up or slowed down version, you can do the same thing with your own song as well. So if I go and I go up 2 semitones and speed it up a little bit, we can hear what this sounds like. And if you liked how that sounds, well, then you would maybe want to change the tempo and the pitch of your song. But it's just really nice and easy to do with it as its own, waveform sitting on the screen right in front of you. So this gives you a really good opportunity for a perspective change, but also another good reason is that you can apply creative effects to the master to like add some spice to what you've got, which again would be kind of a pain to do on like the master when you've got a bunch of other plugins going and a bunch of processing and your session is already complicated. It's really nice to just work with one audio file. I like to open up like an effects unit plugin of some kind. Like Tornado is really good because it has all these effects available that you can assign to knobs, and then when you turn them, they activate, and when they're all the way down to 0, they deactivate, which is a nice little way to add some variations here. So check this out. Right, so you can get kind of crazy with it, but what I like to do is just record like an automation pass and then just keep the stuff that I like. Another option you have though is you can actually use a new audio track and set it to resampling mode and then just record with audio all the stuff that you're doing and then just replace the part of the beat that you like. So if I did that here. Right, so if I had all of those, it's now recorded it into a new audio track and I can go back and listen. Like, let's say I just like this little part. I can just replace this in the original audio, deactivate that track, and then just listen to how it combines together. So you can go through that way and do more passes and then replace more bits of your track to create these little nuances, right? These little interesting bits of ear candy for the listener. Another recommendation that I have, if you don't have a hardware effects unit like an SP404, there are actually some free resources out there to help get you the same sound as a 404. So like it'll have all these onboard effects ready for you to trigger at a moment's notice on your beat. So as an example, I found this free 404 Ableton rack that you can download from a producer called Low Heat. So shout out Low Heat. When you pull it open, it looks like this. Okay, so if I play the beat. So you can just have some fun with it and record in whatever you do, and then just keep the stuff that you really like. So let's do a quick little pass here with the 404 effects rack here and see what we can come up with. I'm just recording this into the resample track again. Alright, so I kind of like this bit here. I can just take this little piece, and I don't even have to keep that next part where the snare is actually in the filter too. I can just like isolate this tiny part and have the snare come back in when it's supposed to, so it'll sound like this. Alright, so let's find one more thing. So if I took this last bit as well and did it like this. So again, this is a really nice way to change the perspective that you have of your own beat or the feel of it without changing anything about the original, simplifying it down, saving on that CPU power. And also, if you want to pepper in those little bits of ear candy for the listener, it's a really nice way to do that as well. I think it lends itself well for genres that are a little bit heavier on the production side of things, like dubstep or I guess EDM in general, hip hop, future bass, that kind of thing. So if you have the creative room to do that in the genre, it's a really awesome thing to play around with. So we hope you enjoyed the video, and as always, happy beat making. If you have any questions, let us know down below, and take care. Peace.